Alright guys, welcome. We are back. I believe this is the second video. Pretty sure. So, we are finally at the Tome of the ARCHON. I believe I'm grabbing this because I'm about to do a fight in the Umbral Abyss. Now, I don't really need to do it. I could just make the choice to grab some other tomes, maybe some damage, but honestly, I just think that a little bit more survivability through Pure Soul, I think that's better. So we're gonna go with it.
For the Archons descend from the heavens once again. The day of reckoning has arrived, and you stand exalted with titans and angels. Herald their arrival. Witness how their wrath wreaks havoc on the wicked, and their blessings bestow grace upon the blameless. You, righteous one, fear death no more, for ascension is attained through sacrifice.
True that. True that all day. Yeah, as a holy aura, it's not really the craziest one available. It's pretty alright though, for what it is. But obviously Pure Soul is what we're going for. Glory Seeker's pretty nice. Okay, so it looks like we have the Colossus Moon. So each turn in combat, all units become wet, and one random unit takes 20 lightning damage. Okay, so that's a lesser form of lightning storm, I guess. Interesting. And we could not finish that. Why is that? That's not good. What happened? Yeah, I gotta clear out all this trash. Definitely forgot about that. I want to build one more Chronos Gate right here. We got to be able to teleport around by now. Definitely a big problem. The Archon Gate looks pretty cool. I'm going to build it somewhere. I don't really know where yet. But we're definitely placing ourselves... Oh, that's interesting. Huh. Interesting. Well, I'm gonna place myself right here. That's a pretty good spot. And then for another teleporter spot, I'm thinking over here. So, we're probably gonna do that. I just don't know exactly where. I mean, this spot... it's looking pretty okay. Yeah, I'm thinking right there. That's a good spot. it gets us moving around pretty efficiently. I guess I'm taking that mine, even though I want to be taking this at some point. I don't know why this guy is currently occupied. How is that happening? I don't get it. Oh, there we go. I was wanting to buy this stuff. So I wanted to purchase... Which one's super good first? This one's pretty okay. Eternal Embassy is a big deal. I can grab these items too in the short term. That'll make my homeboys really strong. Yeah, there's some really good stuff we can grab. I think this is definitely a good start. So we can grab you. That's an artifact. And then I want to grab this guy. That's also really good. All owned units gain Mark of Astral. Ooh. Oh, really? Okay. And I got a lost wizard. Oh, I see. Well, it's nothing too impressive, but it's okay. So, oh man. What is the final one? Has to be whatever in here. Is it crystallized essence? Oh, it's the astrolabe, right? Although I do prefer to do the Eternal Embassy instead. Gives me better stuff. Yeah, I think it's finally time to go to war with this guy and actually grab all this territory that he's taken from me. And I guess I'll surround this? Yeah, I guess. Or maybe not. Okay, so I was wanting to go to other places. Up here, I definitely wanted to screw around with this. That's a difficult city, it looks like, to take. I'm not gonna mess with that just yet. But I am close. I don't know where this guy's going. So this right here, this is where we're trying to end up. Would be really nice to have those chrono gates built up. Obviously, that's taken a little bit longer than I would like. Yeah, that's interesting. The positioning here. There's something I could put right here, but I don't really know what that'll be. We've got a good number of locations here. We got to get the spring right there. And we also got to grab the rest of this territory. In that little section. But we're getting to the point that Marbellium, I can't really fill in much more on that, but I am going to grab Sacred Barrow. That will be a city that I want to hold long term. It does look like it's slightly cramped over there. So we're going to see how that works out. But there's some good stuff I'm seeing here. Well, I guess one good thing, which is the Tranquility Pool. Interesting. Honestly, from here, I could actually see myself expanding this way. I can see it. Oh, but the synergy bonus right here. Actually, I think you get synergy bonuses shared between your cities, as I remember. So I might actually expand upwards here and take the rest of this territory. That would work. I'm feeling it. Yeah, not bad. And we also have right here, we have this army. Level 17 right here. Very difficult army to fight. They have really good units. So, it's going to be a little bit challenging to face off. Oh, interesting. Okay. We've got a lot of gates everywhere. Alright, so where do you go? Yeah, they're going down there. So it appears they're never... Oh, you know what? I wonder if I can actually take that city. I might try to do that. If I can raise it... Well... I guess not. It's a finished city. It's in a decent place as well. I could even fathom owning the city. Would not be a bad idea. You know, as I remember, holding these wonders yourself, typically not a good idea because they end up getting attacked some way, shape, or form. So it's always good to let the AI hold it for you. So I think I'm gonna be doing that. We gotta free up this special resource. So many things to clear on the map. Lots of things required. Where does this go? Oh. Okay. Very, very demanding. This ability is probably really good. The Draining Burst. I'm gonna guess the Revive is also really good, but... do I want to do Warding Bond? I feel like no. I mean, to get Inner Grace, of course I do, but... Well, I mean, I guess if I have this healing ability, but... I mean, I have to see... Do I have enough? Oh, wait, I did that. Wait, does that dispel twice? Uh-oh. Uh-oh. It's a ×2, so I guess, yeah. So it's multiple times? So they nerfed the effect, right? Of status effect immunity, but I guess they made it so that we can now stack how many times we can dispel. It's an interesting trade-off. It is. So I'm thinking maybe because my units are pretty survivable now at this point in the game, and my whole focus of my build is that my units don't die. So I guess what's better than reviving, honestly, is doing something like Warding Bond, and then I get Inner Grace, and I pair that. I can always reset too. So I think I'm gonna do Draining Burst. That's me doing damage. It's also healing me. And then I can have Warding Bonds. I think that's way better of a build. So I'm doing damage. I am connected to my allies, keeping them from going down. That's also pretty nice. And I guess we finished the monument, right? I don't think it goes... Oh, it does? Oh, that's nice. All of my income is increased. Cool. Wow. Wow. So I get +4. And it counts as a gold ancient wonder. Wow. That's fascinating. Interesting. That's pretty cool. Yeah, so this is connected to magic materials. So I'm gonna take the Temple of the Goateer, but of course I need to go to war first. And before we go to war, we gotta do a couple of things. Gotta clear out a few locations. We're getting there, so it'll happen relatively soon. And eventually, I am going to be permanently owning a good number of cities. This guy's going to be done, so I can place down a teleporter down here. That'll be really strong. And then after that, gotta set down that guy. So, we're getting the teleporters going. We will be able to move around the map very easily. And of course, my economy is not really doing that great, so it's going to be roughly difficult to actually build a bunch of units, affording them. So I gotta get a lot more upgrades, a lot more mana as well. A good couple of things. And this guy totally covered this area. I was thinking of owning this city, but in this location here. It is connected though. I was thinking towards it and against it. I can really go both ways. This guy's got a lot of proximity to some wonders in the area. Not too many. A lot of basic wonders, strangely. Oh, it looks like they took out one of the players. Well, it's cool that these guys are just chilling here. That really helps me out. It's interesting that they roam so far now. That's gonna be pretty easy to fight. I think I have disrupting blades, right? Yeah, that is such a big deal to grab. Really glad that we have that now. I want to see how they're doing in combat. I'm sure they're doing really well. We're not even really that far ahead with my build, but we're still doing a lot of damage. We're doing really well. That's a big heal. Wow. Looks like we got fire in here. Alright, I'm gonna be right back. Well, that was weird. Some random bug was on my knee. I was really interested in that combat, but I had to spar off against that mother effing thing. That was absolute fun. Alright, I'm gonna fast forward here. Okay, we're back. Yeah, so they're definitely wrecking right here. The survivability of my units is looking pretty good. Nice. Alright, I will take that. And we got a good amount out of that. Well, I can imagine some ways to work around being unable to equip it. But I feel like I want to give this What's this give me again? Yeah, I think it's just better to be in the air. Especially for ranged units. I think it's better. You know, it's kind of a genuine question. I'm not really sure if they nerfed the Umbral Abyss. It kind of feels like they did, but you know, right now I'm using really good units and I've gotten a lot of great improvements to my units. Racial transformations and whatnot. We have a bunch of healing. We have all sorts of things. And now we have paladins, which are really powerful units. Would be nice to finally get some better weapons for my heroes. Nice. Pretty impressive damage. You know, I think it could probably be better. Trying to figure out how good my paladins are. The shades are, of course, really good. So I have a ritualist, correct? Another warlock. That would definitely be pretty good. Warriors are also nice. Getting a scholar, that's a pretty big deal. Definitely gonna do that. And we do have... This is a charge weapon. Okay. The enchanted mask is pretty nice. Cool. Alright. I should send this guy somewhere. Over here would be nice. There's some good spots down here. Yep. Pretty cool. I'm gonna take advantage of this. Yeah, so let's go down here. We got some nice stuff that we can grab. And of course, I am not ready to go to war yet with these guys, but we're getting there. Coming real close. I did want to build a teleporter right there before I release it and start up this outpost right here. And then of course we start the other outposts down here. A lot of good spots for a little bit more income on everything. Really good income when you look at these guys, given the fact that they have so little territory. I wish somebody would take this though, but nobody does. That's so nice. I love how they do that. Refusing to take territory. It's really cool. Alright, we are heading into another combat. Let's see how this goes. These guys got a Reaper. That can go pretty trashily. Now, we do have a really strong army. Of course, we lose a Shade. Unfortunate. And I know how that happened. But let's see. Let's see how that happened. Yeah, that looks like the wrong move. Man, they're so tanky. Shoot. So he got lucky and he still died. Unfortunate. Interesting attack. Ooh. I guess life... Oh, yeah. Yeah, that's unfortunate. Yeah, I guess lifesteal would be really nice right now. Man, look how tanky this unit is. He's taken absolute damage. Oh, so we had insanity too. Oof. That's some good damage. Did we really leave up those other enemies? No way. Okay, so one of them was going to die. Oh. Yeah, that was a misplay by the AI. That was stupid. Unfortunate. So they left up that Reaper. That is such a bad move. Unfortunate. Ooh, demonic onslaught. That's a good one. All right. A lucky ring. Okay. Those are pretty nice. Tome of the Glades. That would be really nice. And then there's a lot of these other ones. Pretty good. Life Seed, honestly. That gives healing. We get decay. That's a pretty big one. Now we do need a lot of research now. We're pretty much there. But I guess for a little bit of survivability, I do want to get this tome right here. I don't know. I could also do Whiteborn right now. Oh, we also need this tome eventually here. Yeah, we need a lot of this. I wonder if they buffed this. That's a good way of getting more mana. I don't think I'm going to be doing it. So it's Legion of Zeal. Interesting. Yeah, interesting. Honestly, I think that this is probably a must pick right here over a lot of other tomes. There's so much that you're getting out of this. It's definitely worth it. The Life Seed's a pretty big deal. Blades of Decay. And then after this, I think we're going to go for some research. I think we're going to do Blooming Projectiles probably first. But yeah, it's such a big deal. Having these locations in the Umbral Abyss. And I think we'll grab this too. That'll give me a little bit of research. And I don't think I'm going to be releasing any cities anytime soon, so we'll be okay on the... Oops. Oh, we didn't have one of these? Oh, that sucks. Let me double check that. Oh, that's unfortunate. Cultists. Okay. Yeah, we gotta really strengthen ourselves. And we definitely gotta grab some stuff to surround this with now. I could do the Doom Depth Trench, that's a good one. There's a lot of good options, but anything that just gives me some knowledge. Oh, wow. Okay. You know, I keep on moving my units separately, the two armies, instead of moving them together. I have to get used to that. I played this game for so long the other way around. So, I can move them both now together. Okay. Well, I guess we have to park right here. Unfortunate. Oh, nice. Okay. Can I do a teleporter? And honestly, I mean, maybe that's it. I don't know. I don't really have any good options here, sadly. All of it's trash. Dog filth. Beneath my feet. Disgusting. Well, at least we have another chrono gate. That is beautiful. I am so glad. And now we can finally grab... What do I usually do? It's the Adept of Nature? For the regeneration, right? It frees up a slot. But isn't there something else that I grab? Oh, it's the Adept of Chaos, right? For more crit. I'm trying to think about that. I don't know if that matters. I mean, crit chance is a pretty big deal, yeah. It gives you... Oh, yeah. 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 Shoot. I guess we're holding back. Well. Is this a debuff? Ooh, that sucks. Uh-oh. Well. Oh, I see. Huh. Well, that's unfortunate. Well, if I want all this stuff, I have to pick up this. It's okay. But didn't I say that Rejuvenate was the better one here? I think it is. You're hitting more of your units. I think it's better. Oh, right. Wow. So, Sunder defense, weaken, or distracted. Which one's better? I think that distracted's better. But if I do that, then I can't get the retaliation. But instead I get the taunt. Interesting trade-off. So I could do weakening or sundering. Shoot. Well, to be more defensive, weakening the enemy is a bigger deal, actually. Instead of sundering, as long as the enemy's weak, you can really do a lot. Yeah, I mean 50% less damage? That makes a combat encounter a lot easier. Oh, they blocked that off, so they require getting sweeping charge. Huh. Alright, that's an interesting change. There's a couple of changes in here. And we haven't grabbed Reckless Rage yet. Okay. Well, getting that retaliation's a pretty big deal. Definitely helps you out. Obviously, Sundered defense helps you get kills faster, but I think this is the better route. We can do damage just fine. Otherwise. Oh, I never grabbed this. Frick. I was wondering what was going on there. I was like, I totally thought I had that. I was not seeing it activate. But now it is, of course. Wow. Alright, looks like that was a pretty difficult combat. Let's see what's going on in here. It's very interesting to watch these. We're actually seeing some difficult combats with really good units. Okay, so they all grouped up. We have a lot of stats being shared from my Battle Saint, and they're still doing good damage. We're really tanky, but decaying, okay. Yeah, we're really tanky, but obviously we're still getting knocked up a little bit. Oh yeah. Yeah, that's... I think I really like the Elementalist. I can't tell. I mean, you're spreading a lot of elemental attacks and damage. So they're all gonna get hit with electrified. You're spreading out tons of damage. I think it's worth it. I can't completely tell, but it seems good to me. Well, that didn't seem too powerful, honestly. But yeah, now we're picking them off. I can't tell if all the status effects are really doing that much, or if maybe it's just better to do raw damage, right? You know, I said in previous videos, including my tier list videos, I said that typically raw damage is really where you're getting all your damage from. It really doesn't matter having status effects. You know, they're small little bonuses, but it's just not going to make a night and day difference. I mean, right there we got a kill through status effects, which is nice. But you're allowing your enemy to have a turn when you're doing a status effect build. And if you have raw damage on your side instead of status effects, you know, you might very easily be able to just annihilate the enemy with like 1 or 2 attacks, right? Yeah, it definitely, you know, I don't think we're doing crit attacks. Yeah, we're not. So once my crit chance goes up, I do wonder how much damage all of my units are going to be doing long term. I do want to run over here and heal up. We got wrecked pretty hard, and I got to build more units. I made it cheaper to afford these units, so I can finally start grabbing these guys. I might do like a storm giant or 2. I don't know. I don't know. Or maybe a titan. That could be cool. We'll see what I do. These tier 3 units right here though, the paladin, the shade, really good. You know, I'm gonna use a couple of architects, but are they really that powerful? I don't know. But of course we might as well use them, so. Gonna get some more shades going though. Regardless. Looks like we gotta start grabbing special provinces. Definitely required now. I'm also going to... Are we completely... Yeah, we're completely done. Wow. Alright, so I guess I'll grab a Spelljammer here. We can start building this stuff. Now, I don't really know where the best locations are here, because we gotta get some synergy bonuses going. Looks like this is good for synergy. Yeah. So we can do a Spelljammer there. I don't know. It's so much more competitive now with all these special province improvements. There's so much that we can use. Did they change overcharged? Nope. So getting that grace, that's really big for healing. So we're going to be getting that sweeping charge, of course. It's now required. Oh, wow. This looks like a buff. It didn't have the soulbound effect. Yeah, so I think Warding Bond, right? We want to get that grace. The inner grace is such a big deal, so... I think this guy's getting pretty survivable, but now there's a lot of stuff we got to be grabbing. Oh, I forgot to grab this. Well, that would have been very helpful. Yeah, so at the start of each turn... Okay. I mean, honestly, that looks way better than Gloomstrider, if I'm being honest. There's other ways to heal. And that's a minor racial transformation. That's huge. So now, getting Gloomstrider, honestly, it's not that important. If I'm being real. No. Oh, that's right. We have blooming now. Sweet. Yeah, that'll be really good for healing my units. So it's very interesting now the way that we can really stack a lot of defensibility on our units. By the way, there is nothing special in this area that this is connected to. This city. I'm so tempted to get rid of it. But of course, it's my main resource generator, so I guess not. I am curious, so we can get number 4 very soon. Level 4. Yeah, that's pretty interesting looking. It's kind of cool. I like that it increases our income. That's really nice. So we can generate a whole lot more knowledge through that. There's so many cities I want to grab down here. So many. I don't know what it's going to look like just yet. I want to permanently own the one I'm holding here. But then eventually I want to grab Sacred Barrow. We're going to be grabbing Godkeep. Pretty sure. Okay. So, something happened. I have no idea what it is. What's going on here? To become a medium. Okay. So I could attack them. Can you take that location? I wonder what that does. I've never tried it. I'll just do that. I think I've done that before, but I got an achievement for that. So I guess I haven't done it before. Maybe. I definitely need to go to war with this guy. I think I'm getting strong enough to deal with it now. Interesting. So that's cool that we can convince them to join us. That's pretty cool. Maybe I should just take a Frost Giant. That does cut into your Imperium though, and I don't know if I want that. I could order him away. More Imperium's always nice. Yeah, I don't know what to do with this. This is a very difficult army. What is that? Herald of War. Yeah, that came out in the previous DLC. Okay, it looks like to me we gotta really build up. Oh, we're not building more units, dude. Okay. So we got one of these guys coming through. Okay. Oh, so we could use some paladins. Alright, I'm gonna do 2 paladins. We gotta get them down there. And I think outside of these paladins, I think I can do a shade. Yeah, we don't have units up here, which kind of blows. Let's see how this goes. We're definitely strong now. All right. Honestly, I was thinking like we could use a spell, but there's no reason to do that. It would actually be better. Where is it? Crystal Focus, I think, is going to be better. Yeah. Yeah, we can do Crystal Focus. Oh, that doesn't really apply to anybody. Well, I guess we could do Crystal Crash. That's really powerful. Yeah. I guess we can do that instead. So we're gonna... Oh, yeah. Okay. Quick save. Let's try it. Hopefully I can grab that magical material. That would be nice. Nice. Very cool. Alright, so we're getting some really good resources now. And down here, we're gonna rush. Gotta get my other units in here, and then we can actually attack that huge stack. Okay. Nice. Oh yeah, wow. We can really bolster our damage. What kind of staff can we do? We really gotta start disenchanting stuff, you know? We're finally getting some magical materials. That took forever to do. But we're so far behind on all of it. We still gotta get a lot. And I don't even know what I can really grab once I have a lot. Oh, nice. Yeah, that morale hit, I don't even know if that really matters, you know? Part of me really thinks it doesn't matter. I think we do so much damage, it's like... who cares? Looks like we got that major ambition, that's sweet. What's this? We got this guy. I guess we should call a war relatively soon here. I'm having them attack this dude up here. Lahasha. Yeah, so I want to get Sacred Barrow coming up. And I would also like to grab this city. So that's 2 cities right there. We can restart this city. There's a lot of cities we can do down here. And what's this? I think obviously there's some resources there. Yeah, once you actually start getting into the Umbral Abyss, it's so nice. It grants you so much in resources, but I'm gonna have to build some extra armies to defend in there. At some point here, they're gonna really go out of their way to start taking my territory in there. Okay, so our cities get 100% more knowledge. And what else? Oh, yeah, I forgot about that. Oh, yeah, that's so nice. Jeez. That is powerful. I should have gotten that earlier, but I did not. Whoopsie effing daisy. Alright, let's see how this combat goes. These guys are either very difficult to fight or roughly easy. Yeah, makes sense. Okay. I'm kind of thinking like place down a city there, place down a city here. I think that works. From what I can tell. Oh wow. We could go all the way back here. Dang. Well, I don't think we're doing that. We definitely want to attack these dudes. Okay, so I am finally grabbing some of this research. The first one we're doing, of course. Well, shoot. I do need Chaos Affinity, but we're gonna skip it. The best thing to go for right now is going to be Tome of Faith. Convent is very nice.
When faith fuels the embers of...
And of course everything else. All right. So we're gonna grab this Chrono Gate. I think that's a good position right there. And it looks like we cannot do anything else. Nice. So I guess I'm done with this skill tree here. And it looks like we have enough points to go down the right side. That's cool. I just don't know if the morale, I don't think that's worth it. So instead, we're definitely doing this. This will be very interesting to see how it works in combat. It's a healing ability. It's also a way of strengthening some of my units in combat. It's a bit of a buff. And a few other things. Wow. Looks like he got taken over. Unfortunate. And that dude is finally done. Wow. That took forever. Shoot. Wow. We have all the rest of these to rank up. That's crazy. Okay, well, I think by next turn, we can definitely release that city. And we should definitely get this abbey going. So I think it was right here. I wanted to place down the worker construct. I think that should work. Super connected here. The positioning is not perfect, I don't think, but whatever. Well, dang, that's crazy. I think what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna go no commentary for a second here, but I am going to replay this combat. oh my, it's been a while. We are finally back. So what was the last turn before I went on a massive hiatus? That's what they call it. So here's what happened. And I'll catch you up to speed. Biatch. So here's what happened. And let me see. What am I doing with some of these dudes here? I think the only thing I want to do now... Oh dear gods. Please? Thank you. Alright, we can release this guy. It's been interesting playing through all of this throughout this playthrough. In some weird way, I don't really know what I think. Yeah, we're just gonna... I think we're just gonna release him. Yeah. There's no reason to keep him. Not at all. Alright, so here's what happened. We've been busy, right? And I went through a bunch of turns, really fleshing out my empire. We struggled through a couple of combats, and I mean we struggled. Really difficult. I didn't really know how to get through the combat scenarios. And we happened to get through it. The AI was clapping my cheeks, and I was really... And you know, they made certain changes to certain siege projects. So it was giving me the exhausted status effect. So I wasn't able to heal myself in a lot of combats, so I kept on losing combats. And I had no idea what was going on at first. So, anyway. It was interesting going through all of that. And now we're finally here. I guess I have a lot of things that I'm sort of thinking about. So what's a good place to start here? I guess let's get this guy over here. Yeah. Where's the other animal? Okay. Jeez, dude. Oh, man. Alright, so what do I talk about first? Yeah, so we did a bunch of research. We went through here, and I just basically grabbed a bunch of defensive tomes. Tomes that increased my defense overall. I fleshed out all of my research. So we got a bunch of stuff in here, and I would say that the build's looking really nice. I got this, it's kind of extra, but you know, getting more health is really good. I think that Tome of the Famous is also really good because it decreases the accuracy of the enemy. So, and I've been really trying to focus on getting more research because I realized I barely have anything researched for a certain number of these tomes. So that's a huge issue. We got to do something about it, which I did do something about it. So now we're looking better on that side of things. We have a bunch of freaking transformations now. Oh, okay. Anyway. And I got Angelic as my major transformation. Mostly because it was the first thing available. I think I want to do Whiteborn, but I just can't get around to it. So, whatever. And I've been fleshing out my dudes. I totally forget what the last video was about. Actually, this is still the same video, but still. But I kind of find... I'm figuring out what's really important here. What are the things that you should absolutely pick up, and what should you not pick up? So I'm finding that obviously getting Sundered Resistance is a big deal, but then getting Frost Strikes, and also this, really good. You put all these together, and you're just doing massive damage. You know, something I've learned, though, is that I think that it's super important. You either build your heroes like I did here, and your heroes become almost unkillable. My heroes are doing massive damage. They're absolutely annihilating. I realize that having any supportive heroes is a waste, because you want them to get kills. You don't want them to support the team. It's freaking stupid and ridiculous. So the Ritualist, I do have to say this. I think that the Ritualist is improved. I think that the Ritualist does more damage. I think it's more powerful. And I don't know what going hostile wild growth even looks like. I don't know if that's like super powerful or not. I can see that being really powerful. I'll have to say this. I don't think that the summoning the 3 living vines, I don't think that's actually good. So I could see that going the damage path is better with this guy. And then outside of that, I have no idea what else you grab, if I'm being honest. No idea. Yeah, I think that Reincarnate might be the best one, but again, like, you simply want your heroes to have as bolstered of stats as possible. You want them to be able to take damage and survive, but also deal out huge damage. That's all you want. You don't want them to heal. All you need are support units for that, so you don't need them healing. You don't need them providing buffs. That's a waste of a turn. Summoning units, that can actually be okay for the most part, because, right, you're providing units to the battlefields and they end up taking damage for your team. So that's pretty important. And those units can also heal your units, so it's not bad. But I mean, like, even technically, summoning is a waste of time too. And you're actually better off just bolstering your damage as much as possible, for honestly. So, even then, I think it's a waste, you know? So I think that if I had gone down this path instead, and I grabbed all of this stuff over here, this would be way better. Because it'd be doing damage. Right here, this expands the area of effect. So that's really good. And I just think that would be way more powerful. For sure. Yeah. Yep. Yep. Very interesting. Yeah. And like, decompose. It's okay for, I mean, it's free. So that's okay for what it is. I guess rejuvenate is good for removing a negative status effect, right? Well, that's pretty much it. There's nothing else really. I mean, I like how a lot of these are free to use. And obviously, you're going to use Right to Fury at the beginning of a combat. Most of the time. So like, some of this is a legitimate way to go. But everything else that you do, it has to be focused on doing damage. And applying this to enemies, really good. And the only thing that you would ever waste a turn on would be rejuvenate. And that's it. So yeah. Yep. So like the ritualist can be fine, but going support like I did with the ritualist is retarded. It's not going to do anything good for you. So anyways, I was also thinking this, and I don't think this matters as much, but I do think that perhaps it's actually viable. And I actually think that maybe, I mean, for one, instead of going Adept of Chaos, you could go Adept of Nature and get regeneration. That's a huge deal. You're maximizing your survivability, getting that regeneration, that passive regeneration. And I would say that that's something you don't want to overlook. On top of that, I'm thinking to myself, instead of going Arcane Surge, which honestly I think that Arcane Surge is just the best one to grab out of everything available in the signature level 16 skills, you could go for the Shadow, which gives you the Eternal 1 buff, where your hero is expected to die, but when they die, they revive after 2 turns, and it's unlimited. And I think that's actually maybe a cool path to go down, because you could just, instead of like right here, I went with resistance and status resistance, whatever, you could just go a bruiser build, or not even a bruiser, a glass cannon build with your units, no matter what they are. And you could just decide that I just want them to rush in and do damage. And then if they die, right, they just revive in 2 turns, and that's it. And I think like maybe a glass cannon build would be pretty cool. Obviously the way I go about it is that I try to make sure that my units are as tanky as possible. They can take a bunch of damage, they can heal a lot of damage, and ultimately they're just so hard to kill that they just get away with a lot, right? And they do, you know, by the end game, they get away with so much. But again, what I find is, dude, the amount of damage that the warrior does, this is still the best unit in the game. One of the best heroes, that is, in the game. The Battle Saint, I think, is good. I think that going Saint's Fervor might actually be a waste. And I don't think that giving the option to revive units is actually worthwhile. I think that you want this guy to get kills more than anything. Now, of course, if I don't go down this path, then I don't get something like the 3 Fervor from this. But I keep noticing that the Battle Saint, he loves to run around and heal units using Saint's Fervor instead of strictly using Smite all the time. So that puts me in a kind of weird place. But I mean, like, in the end, the AI is gonna decide, am I gonna use Fervor with the Warrior's Fervor? Or am I going to just use Smite? So I guess it's just kind of up to the AI to make a choice. So I guess this is fine to go down this way, this path. I guess it's okay. Because otherwise, you would just go down here. And there's some defensibility in here. And also damage. So that comes with interesting things. This is actually really nice. Especially for your hero. And your hero is the most important unit on the field. But you know, what, support abilities. Well, see, that incentivizes. So I could have had 2 extra skill points. And by the way, I've learned this. Having the lightning hit a bunch of units is a waste. You want it to do as much damage to 1 unit as possible. That's what you really want. So maximizing that damage is the best path. Because you just want to nuke and get kills. That's what you really want. Spreading out the damage is a waste. Anyways, what I would have otherwise have done with this build... Oh, extra damage on attacks. I think that's on all attacks. I think what I would have done though, I think I would have stripped out the bolstering support and also revive. And then I would have gotten everything else. And then I would have 2 other skill points. And I would probably grab... Part of me thinks that Exhume Undead is actually really good. But more specifically, I would go for Sundering and Frost Strikes. And that way, I would be doing a lot more damage. I'm already survivable. You know? Yeah. Yep. 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 Part of me thinks right now I should just reset it to how he should be, right? Kind of thinking that. I think I will. He never really uses Draining Burst, I don't think. I mean, it's really good to have this. I just don't know if he's using it. That's my only question. But... that is interesting. I'm already dispelling a lot of negative status effects through the runes. So I actually don't need this. So yeah, I mean, I think that in the end... Oh. See, I can go one of 2 ways. Oh. So I can go this way, which entering... So I always enter the defense mode, which is really nice. And I don't have charge resistance. That's a problem. But to really min-max this guy, you don't need this. Ah. It gives you slightly more status resistance, but if I go down this way, I get a free use ability, which is Condemnation, and that stacks really well with Smite. And I get defense, and I still get resistance, so I'm still tanky. Yeah, that is just better. Wow, that is just better. Everything together just does more. So when I'm landing attacks, I'm gaining fervor. So I think I gain like 2 fervor. If I take damage, I gain fervor. The issue with going this way over here is that I have to take damage. So it is important to be tanky. It necessitates tankiness in this build, but on top of that, which, you know, I already have, but still. And then outside of that, what's so nice about this is that I get fervor from entering defense mode. So that gives me more stacks to do damage with this every single turn, and I don't have to rely upon getting attacked. If I go this way, I have to get attacked and attack. Yeah. But with this, I get condemned. And it applies remorse, soulbound. Wow. So it gets, I think it gets these bonuses. See, I'm sacrificing 3 stacks of fervor. So instead of doing 50 spirit damage, I'm only going to be doing maybe 20 or maybe 30, 40. Again, I have to be getting attacked. And I have to be attacking. So that's a big issue. But I do have the dagger, and that dagger is giving me a free attack every couple of turns. That's so rough. You know, if this is the case, I become less and less of a healer. So, you know, I kind of double as a healer right now. But for me, I realized that you want to be doing a bunch of insane damage instead. And also be highly defensible. There's a reason that you have support units in the game. Your heroes are not supposed to be over-glorified support units. So it actually hurts your hero. Yeah. Yeah. It does. It does hurt your hero. Oh man, that's interesting. I mean, getting that strength in is pretty nice, and then you get some healing. Interesting. Well, yeah. Interesting, man. Yeah, because I just don't find that revive matters that much. So I guess I've made up my mind. Okay. See, this is the issue, is that we're sacrificing something pretty big here. Yeah, we are. We are. All right, this is what I want to do here. So, obviously, when you start the game, you're going to want to go. So landing attacks, I think, is always going to generate way more fervor. You're always going to be attacking, and you want him to always be attacking. So you go Paladin. See, the only problem is that Nah, yeah, we're good actually. We're good. This opens up a lot more options to us. It's weird because I thought that revive would matter, but if you're building tanky on your units, which you should, if you're playing on a high difficulty, it's really the only way to build your units, unless you just want them dying all the time. They gotta be tanky, there's really no other choice. You're not gonna be reviving anybody, so this is a waste of a skill point. And it's a waste of your hero's turn. So starting the game off, having this strengthen per fervor stack and the heal, that keeps your ruler in the fight, or just hero in general, right here. So we have a choice. Dispel negative status effects. Well, I could see that really being good. I mean, okay, obviously we're gonna get the fervor. We gotta have more ways to grab fervor, but oh that's what it is too. Okay. Well, that's a nice extra added bonus. Interesting. See, you can go really tanky going down this path. But yeah, we grab all this. We grab let's grab this first. So we just beeline down this whole path. And then this is nice, but is it even actually necessary or useful? I don't know. You gotta definitely budget your points. Warding bond is fine. Healing, more resistance. That's a really good buff. Up here. So obviously we get this for the bonus. We grab this for more defense and resistance. Status resistance is a big deal. However, how much is too much? There are ways to reduce it. And it's just good to have in general. So yeah, just do it. And it denecessitates you grabbing it for items too. So you can just focus on more resistance and defense in your items. And then obviously we do that. Now, of course, I think that the hurl lightning is obviously really powerful. Has lifesteal? Where's my lifesteal coming from? If you're using like a ritualist with a giant, then grabbing the summon is really good, but I think that the summon's probably a waste to grab otherwise. I mean, truly, it is roughly tanky. Oh. It's actually not that bad. Oh, that's an interesting trade-off. This gives us a good buff, and then we can also go down here, and this gives me more survivability and damage. This gives me steadfast, and it helps everybody stay alive. So adjacency bonus though, does that even matter? Because it's really all about turning your hero into a super unit. And again, as I have said in the past, I mean, this already dispels for us. If we're using this guy, which we are. What's the Shield of Faith? Extra crit chance. That's pretty nice. But honestly, none of this is as good as dispelling. And everything that comes with dispelling is really good, right? Summoning a bunch of decaying zombies after getting kills. I mean, that's just so powerful. And then Frost Strikes is also really good. Especially with my builds. Super good. And then of course, we have all these options. So Mighty Stomp can do a stun, a bleed, immobilized. Lifesteal for some reason, I forget why. Fury gives us very fast, strengthen, fortune. I mean, I think you obviously always go this one because of the evasion. Nothing else is as good as it. Adaptive vigor is nice, but you obviously want to get evasion. It just makes you harder to kill. Unless, I mean, here's the thing, right? That is unless you really want to focus on damage if you're doing a glass cannon build. I don't think you can do it though with the giant. So anyways, obviously we go this because we're trying to be super survivable. Now this is really good. Base attacks have a chance of inflicting disrupted. That's definitely powerful, but cascading, I mean, it's kind of a no-brainer. And then as we're getting kills, right? As we're getting kills, we're getting a bunch of lightning damage on enemies too. So you just don't lose. Now, there's nothing in my build that's increasing magical damage. And if I had something that was increasing that damage, the lightning might be a lot more powerful. But anyways, evasion. What's Call of the Wild again? It's not really. Nah. Nah. I used to get the blink. It was not worth it. Phase lock. That's a really good one, but not on a hero. You just want to get kills. That's all you want with a hero. This can do a bunch of damage. I mean, what? That's 60 damage, right? Isn't that right? That's a lot of damage. Man, that's powerful. And I think if you get lifesteal, or no, does it not have lifesteal? I mean, I could see this being really good with a glass cannon builds. There's so many negative status effects in this game now. So many. It just makes this rune that much more powerful. So I grabbed this one for the dispelling. And then there's also draining burst, which is doing damage. It's magical damage. So I think I need to, on this guy, I need to grab a robe that increases magical damage, and I have not been doing that. So I think that's a really good move to take. Increasing magical damage like that. But now I kind of feel like I have so many different types of attacks. And it feels like it's overkill. But again, you know, it's just another way to sustain the unit. Especially since I have warding bond. You have to have extra heals available to yourself. Where am I getting this lifesteal from? Yeah, so Eternal one. Comes back to life with 35% of its total hit points. Yeah, that's a problem. I mean, yeah, you're a glass cannon, but then you come back and you could, I mean, draining burst. We've got a heal right there. That's pretty good. Maybe I could see it working out just fine because I think there's enough ways I would heal. So I could see this being really powerful. Yeah. And it has disruption. So I could see that being really powerful. I think that this is just dog trash. I don't know why you would pick it up. Yeah, this is not necessary. No. What the heck? That's also terrible. Nah. It's a great way to get more damage, so maybe you just start one-shotting everything. Okay. Oh, that's crazy. But for my build, it's really not that important. Yeah, nah. Arcane Surge, obviously, is just... So getting kills, I mean, I just do so much lightning damage, and then we're getting strengthen, and we're getting healing, and we're getting bolstered defense and resistance, which is huge. I mean, everything that you're... Why is nothing else is as good as this? It's just insane. I mean, this is good, but I mean, that's if you're trying to do a really specific build. So, of course, we're going to grab that. Now, we only have 8 points left. And if I were doing it a completely intelligent way, giving all your... So when your unit is about to be dead, well, I'm not trying to build them to die. So him getting steadfast, like early game, okay, that can matter. But later game? No, that's stupid because I put points into having all of these defensive stats, right? Entering defense mode at the end of every turn, and your heroes do get surrounded, so I think getting these is maybe really good. Morale resistance is really powerful. But but you can make it where your hero does not rout. You can get that now in trinkets, so I don't know if that's really worth it. I mean, I guess it means you don't have to build it as a trinket. And how often do I even get around to that? Yeah. But this is great right here. Condemnation. It's free. You can use it pretty often. Weakens the target. It does a lot of stuff. But I guess I could skip out on these. Doing damage to enemies around you. Getting steadfast when you're low on health. I mean, it's nice for keeping your ruler or just battle saint alive. And then this is interesting that I could summon any kind of unit. I'm actually looking at the glaive. I think he might be the most powerful. He's got some really good stuff, and he's actually moderately tanky. So this right here, I mean, it would make him really hard to kill. And then this unit is even harder to kill. And it gets all the bonuses of your enchantments. Well, that's actually not too bad. You can make it super tanky. Huh. So an extra unit on the field that's just doing extra damage. Oof. And is also hard to kill. Or make my hero do as much damage as possible with his base attacks. Crazy. We only have 7 points left. That is what's so sad about this. I think that everything is largely perfect right here. I think that getting condemnation, it's a free debuff. That's really important, especially early game. Later on, it doesn't matter as much, but I mean, maybe you could skip it, right? If you don't want to sacrifice the point. Let me see. So this is the rough idea. You know, draining burst is a way to heal. And only 7 points. And I purchased for this guy, I think 1 point, right? So he actually only has 6 points. See, I could spend all my points and grab all this here. One, two, three, 4, 5, 6, 7. Or 6, 7 over here. I honestly, I think that's kind of a no-brainer to do the summoning. Just because of how honestly powerful it is. And I do like the way that the Stormglaive sounds. I just know that it can die real easily. If you have the shields, it's really hard for that unit to die. But there's ways around that, honestly. And the issue is too, is that he doesn't have actual magical damage buffed. So I feel like this is actually a waste. Like, why get the lightning? I like the lightning, it's just that the build is not conducive with it. And instead, I think getting more crit chance, frost strikes for sure. I mean, we really should just be increasing my base damage as much as possible. I mean, do I really think that morale is not a big issue? You know, weakening, that's a part of defense. It is a pretty big deal. My issue every time when it comes down to sundering resistance is that I think it only applies to your secondary attack as a hero. So I just don't think that's actually worth grabbing unless I have multiple attacks. But I typically like going the warrior items. To me, this is really weak. So we have 6 more points. We could grab all this. It's so tough because I really want to grab this stuff here. If it were up to me, I would definitely power up my lightning attack. I feel like though, I mean, this is lightning damage. Oof. So good. It's so difficult with the giant because you want to put so many points over here. It's so demanding in that way. But then you have the rest of the skill tree to pay attention to. Do I believe that this guy could 1v1? Yeah, I mean, his whole thing is, it's really just about doing the most basic attack damage, really. I literally built him for that, so we're skipping the lightning, sadly. I think morale, that is a pretty big issue. It's so tough because I want to get that crit chance. I don't really have a good way of getting fortune into this builds. So my critical, oh, I have to do that with an item. Shoot. So with my helmet, I have to grab fortune. I forgot about that. But that's only 30%. Then morale is 50%. And then I can put 20% on my weapon. So that's 70% overall. What else? So then that could go up to 80% with this. But I would have to grab this. Oh man, we are so strapped for options. But you know, it's so weird because this sounds really good, but I actually think that both of these are not necessary. Because if you're trying to make yourself unkillable, then getting low health is not going to be an issue, and it shouldn't be an issue. And I have ways to prevent that being an issue. I mean, the enemy can focus you, so that is a problem. I think doing this is actually maybe better. I feel like the AI would waste its turn though doing this. That's a big problem. It takes one turn to do. I don't like that. And I know how the AI likes to do that, so it'll just end up throwing a turn for that purpose. I mean, maybe just do lightning for the heck of it, just to do huge damage on one target. That is a lot of damage. But so is my freaking basic attack. But you know, it's a good poke to do the lightning. And I guess I'm grabbing that instead of warded. I think it might be the best way to go. But now, the biggest problem here. Gain more damage on my attacks. Okay, weakening, that's great for survivability. With this right here, oh man, it brings up all of my yeah. Wow. All of my damage goes up. I don't need steadfast. It's not necessary. There's so many ways to survive. Oh, I can only do draining burst. Every 3 turns. I don't think it would matter that much all the time. I think that's pretty good. So obviously, your helmet needs to have fortune and star blades, and that'll give you a bunch of damage. Your chest piece most likely needs to be regeneration. And also magical damage. The boots obviously need to be like this right here. There you go. I mean, you can literally get Berserker's Rage. I forgot about that. Yeah, getting the Crypt Blade on this guy is important. And then make it so that your guy can't route from combat. And then there's some other good ones like Astral Membrane and whatnot. But Wind Barrier, pretty big. Slip Away. That's also huge, right? It's almost like getting a second life. And then maybe skip the status resistance. Yeah. And grab some more resistance instead. And that's probably a super unit type of battle saint that you can make. So where was I going? I don't remember. So what was I saying before all that though? Yeah, this whole playthrough's been pretty interesting. You know, we've been clapping cheeks and we've gotten a bunch of research, and I was also expanding a ton, grabbing a bunch of free city vassals, and I think I've learned a few things about the free city vassals that I think that just spamming them is a big deal. And another thing I've learned is that the Oracle is probably one of the most overpowered units in the game. The Oracle applies with the healing portent a lot of healing, and then also gives precognition. In combat, this is so much more powerful than it appears to be. It's not like the make or break exactly. Oh, and then of course entering defense mode also gives you precognition. Certain units like the Paladin, this is super powerful. So this is a great way of just removing alpha strikes from the enemy. It's just a great way of making your units a lot more frustrating to fight and to kill. And I did forget about this. This definitely gives your mages a lot more crit hit chance. And this is still a really good tome. Oh yeah. Yeah. Really good. And I noticed that the shades are a lot weaker now. A lot of units, including support units, are a lot more powerful. Oh, I think they buffed this here. Yeah, this is a great tome. Getting the cleansing flames, it's such a big deal for just negating negative status effects. I mean, it's a must pick. I forgot about it.
Blessed be the light which burns inside the heart of the zealot.
You know, I built a bunch of shades, but man, they're really not that strong, like they used to be. I don't feel, well, I gave them a lot of upgrades by now that they are pretty strong. But I think I've been seeing other units be a lot stronger now. Specifically, support units. Well, I mean, the Architect support unit, which is a tier 3. I mean, the tier 2s are probably still very weak. But we can check out this combat and just see the damage. I guess the shades are still good. It's just comes with some stipulations now. I think they did weaken them. I wonder where that Litherine unit came from. Maybe that was a spell that I used. I noticed something crazy, which is that it's almost impossible to kill my units at this point in the game. My heroes, they seem kind of weak at times, but I don't know. But my units themselves, they're so tanky. It's absolutely insane. Yeah, really good damage there. Again, maybe they were not weakened. I can't tell. I can't tell. But maybe they were never actually nerfed. They still do huge damage, much like before. And there were always units that did more damage than the Shade. So it looks like they're still pretty strong. The damage is so insane. Wow. Yeah, I mean, if you focus enough on building their damage, I guess you're just always going to be landing these hard-hitting attacks. Oof. But man, we were going through this playthrough and it was just taking so long to get through turns. So it took me a long time to get here, where we're almost finished with the playthrough. It was a lot. Took a lot of time. But we're finally getting close towards the end. We got a lot of good research. I don't think that the research is exactly as good as it could have been. I think it could have been a lot stronger throughout the game. And it's really hard to really push your research to the highest level. It's really difficult to do that. But of course, the more research that you have, the way better that your units become. Again though, down here, I have so many vassals. They completely litter the underground. So yeah, we really fill it out down here. I think that's good. Pretty sure we can just get rid of this city. We don't really need it for anything. I don't know what I would do with this, actually. Yeah. Let's get rid of this guy. Tons of knowledge with him. Again, when you look at all these cities, you know, I'm getting from this 22. A good number of them are giving me 80 knowledge. Some of these are less developed, so it'll take a while for them to max out their research, but that other one was 50, this is 30. You know, you go through all these though, and they end up producing for you quite a bit overall.
Yeah. You what?
Man, it's been a very slow crawl from one combat to another. So what am I doing? I can't do that yet. Trying to release all these cities, but man, takes a long time. I'm gonna give it one more turn on this guy. I want to grab Chrono Gate right there. And then soon enough, we're going to be building this guy too. Well, actually, I shouldn't do that. We gotta wait. We have so many cities to claim. Wow. There are so many cities. So many left. And a lot of them are already developed, so... What is this? Oh. So I noticed that something happened. They got rid of the crypts in this game. The undead crypts. So your prisoners no longer give you research, which has been a huge knowledge hit in the game. I don't know why they made that choice. I get that that probably incentivized a lot of people to chase after wars, just countless wars. I get that. It makes sense. Right, they were just going crazy, I'm sure. Fighting a bunch of players, storing up on heroes, executing them all. I can see that the developers wanted to change the play style, and it was too heavily rewarded, right? If you play as a good guy, it just sucks. You don't get those kind of benefits. So they just stripped it out of the game. But it just makes no sense, because it's like they should have been aware of what they had already designed. So why turn back on it? It was a part of a fundamental part of your game design. Makes no sense to me. Oh man, I have to migrate so many of these cities. Wow. Very demanding. Nobody put a city right here? That's crazy. Wow, there's so much space down here that I have not filled out. You know, I find it so difficult. I have barely explored or unlocked anything down in here. I grabbed a few things, but it's like, how are you supposed to go into the Umbral Abyss throughout the course of the game and actually grab all this stuff? How are you supposed to do that? I really don't think that you just do that. Especially on a very difficulty. I mean, unless you're really on top of research, and that's so hard to do. Let's see. You know, man. So where are we placing these dudes? There you go. Yeah, so you know. Ooh. I do want to do a monument here. We should do that. Oh man. I forget what I was going to say. Oh, well, I guess that's what I was going to say. Man, you know, this takes forever. Goodness. Redonkadonk, man. I mean, look how many cities we're just parked on top of because I can't do anything with them. When am I releasing this? 3 turns. What about this guy? When am I releasing you? Yeah? Yeah? 1 turn. What about down here? I wanted to release. This guy is 1 turn. Man, so demanding. So many cities. So many. We got some shoes. I got your shoes. Oh. Looks like they have the incorrect shoes. Can I build this? Oh no. Oh, 2 Archon. 2 Astral. Ugh. End yourself. Literally. Just do it, dude. Freaking guy. Screw you. Alright, that's what I want to give to my giants. Rut-row Pinocchio. They want to duke off, eh? You thought you were ready, punk. But you showed up in front of me. So now you lose. Son. The Mistling is a very good unit. So we're building him. Mother effer. In the freaking urethra. Ugh. I did want to grab a freaking fallen angel and try it out. We used a little bit of the undead titan, and that guy's pretty cool. Wow, that guy, he went sightseeing, I see. Ermagerd takes forever to get through these frickin' turns. You know, every time I start a playthrough, I'm always excited. I'm like, wow, I can't wait for this. Ooh. I'm gonna do all these things to get more research. Oof. I'm gonna be so strong. And then we get into the late game where I want to be, where I have all this research, and now the game is so painfully laggy. I'm not lying when I say this. It takes me days to finish these playthroughs, dude. I end up complaining about this like every single time I play the game, you know? It's just so effing ridiculous that I have to go through this every single time. The lag is just unbearable, you know? That's the issue with any strategy game, is that you want to get to the late game and you want to do all the things in the late game, but then the game gets so slow. And then you're just sitting around forever, hoping for things to finally happen, you know? You're just waiting. And it really gets under your skin. It was the same issue for me when I was playing Stellaris a good while ago. The game is a ton of fun, but when you get to the late game and you're lagging, yeah, you just resolve to give up, or You do everything in your power to just beeline to the enemy, no matter what it takes, to just end the freaking game. That's what it turns into. It's like, how fast can I bring an end to this? Because it's taking too long to actually play the game. It's the biggest problem with every single strategy game that is out there. How long is it going to take me to actually play the game? It's so crazy because every time you start a playthrough, you have all this excitement. You're like, wow, I can't wait to upgrade this and upgrade that and research this and research that. And I can't wait to build up this much research income, and I can't wait for this and I can't wait for that. And then it gets to this point, and then you realize, like, oh wow, everything I was excited for, it's just not even realistic. So we're kind of there now where it just takes too long to play through the game, and it becomes this royal pain in the butthole to go through everything. To go through every single turn. Combat, or not combat, but I mean, yeah, combat to combat, in between all of it. God, it just takes too long. It's so difficult to figure out a way to just make all this not take forever. Wreck 'em. Make 'em cry. You gotta love those units taking the hit for... Yep. So they nearly killed him, and he just took the hit for my actual units. Yeah, get wrecked, queer. Oof, good damage. You know, man, it always amazes me. You have these faggot queers who try to leave dislikes on some of my videos. I have videos where I get dislikes and I'm like, why are you disliking the video? Like, there's nothing to dislike. It's always been super confusing in the past, but it's just like, you have these faggots that just literally think like, oh, I'm just gonna dislike your video, bruh. Because even though there's nothing wrong with it, dislike, bruh. It's like, okay, and fuck you too? Yeah. I don't know. There's just a certain like quaintness and modesty in being sincere that I notice that other people, they just don't like it. Like, I realize that there's a lot of faggots out there. The biggest thing that they want out of you is to speak and to act like someone that you're not. And to think and to speak and to act in a way that is more in line with being a fake individual, a fake personality. You have to soften down who you actually are, what your actual personality is. Basically, you have to make it all up, and that'll suffice these faggots and what they expect out of you. It's like, oh, I don't like you until you conform to this really basic idea of what a person should be. So do it now or dislike on video. It's always the same faggot squad that's running around leaving dislikes. And it's just like, you seriously cannot stand it when someone's just open and real and honest with you. You cannot take authenticity because you're a faggot. And there's too many of these people. Just when I think I've escaped them, there's always a new faggot that's turning their frickin' head. I cannot stand these effing people, man. They're unbelievably annoying. And more than anything, it's their mindset that I am more pissed off about than anything. You know, nothing else really pisses me off so much as the mindset of a faggot. And how these absolute raging retards, how they think and how they act. I mean, they're absolute crap stains on the earth. Just pieces of living filth. Who think that their opinion matters. And it's like, no, you're insignificant. You don't matter. And in case you don't get it, fuck you. So in case it's not clear enough, I'm sick and tired of these people. Sick and tired of them thinking that they matter towards my channel. Because it's every time I see a dislike on my channel, I'm just like, oh, it's another faggot that thinks I care. It's another faggot that thinks that leaving a dislike, oh, what is that gonna do, retard? I don't like your video. Okay, there's nothing wrong with it. So now what? I mean, you're literally just trying to find reasons and find things to have problems with. Again, man, these faggots, they've gone too far. They've gone too far. For too long. They have no chill. They just keep on faggoting about, and I am not one of their biggest fans. In fact, I am quite the opposite. These people are the bane of my existence. And every time they leave a dislike, it just reminds me. Just reminds me. It's like, oh. Oh, that's right. I forgot what I thought of the faggots. I forgot. And now, I've been reminded. But that's the thing I always realize with these faggots is that they want you to water down your personality in every way imaginable. They don't want you talking about real things, serious things, in-depth topic matter. They don't want that. They don't want you being honest, real, authentic, visceral, none of that. They want you to water it down, and they want you to just behave like some low IQ, 60 IQ, rambling baboon. That's what they want. Although, I will say this, I do feel like, well, no, I know. It's been interesting for me recently to kind of reflect on what my channel was like a year ago. If you look at my older playthroughs and the topic matter, what we discuss, I was talking about a lot of stuff in detail. And you know, wokeness was a very pervasive issue back then, and it still is now. But because Trump's in office, we have the illusion that it doesn't matter, and it's still not going to this day. No, it's still going on. And no one wants to do anything about it. And people, because Trump got elected, we want to act like it's all disappeared. No, it hasn't. It's just slinked away into the shadows, and it still has power. We haven't slit the throat on the frickin' Hydra. Regardless, and by the way, I had some frickin' salad recently. Terrific. Terrific stuff. Anyway. You know, the woke, they've been battered up, and they've just resorted to being petty now. You know, they lost in so many ways throughout the last 10 years now. They've just one thing after another. Their heroes are all frauds. They're all full of shit. The left is just a bunch of satanic filth walking the earth. That's literally all they are. And I've gone into great detail about that. I don't need to explain it. They are satanic filth walking the earth. Textbook definition. They are the exact embodiment of the evil. And yet we're sitting here and we're tolerating their existence. We're tolerating the bullcrap that they do all the time. They should be abolished out of every country that exists, and they should be thrown onto an island where they fend for themselves. But instead, we tolerate these absolute pieces of filth clowns. Them and their faggot brethren. But you know, I look back on it, and it is quite interesting to really pay attention to. Everything going on as it is. It's very fascinating. Especially to me. It's very interesting what all of it is. I look at my channel. It's so interesting to think about like all the soulful conversations that I had in past playthroughs. I mean, I was talking about so much topic matter onto so many layers and levels of thought. I mean, we were having very long conversations in very detail topic matter regarding feminism, regarding race. And I was going through the more intellectual layers of these issues and these topics. And now I've become a lot more straightforward and to the point, because there does just come a point where it's like, okay, you can keep on fantasizing about the intellectual curiosity and the intellectual depth of the Hydra's heads, but at some point you just got to aim for the stem root of the issue and cut the thing from which it stands. And there's a very basis to everything that's very simple of what must be dismantled. So I find it very interesting, all those past conversations that we've had about everything. You know, I went into such great detail about so much, and I ranted about a lot of things too, but in the end, I don't think I'm really that happy with where my channel's at. I've released so many videos, and I put my all for a while. A whole year plus. I put my all into my channel. And it really did not grow. It's had stunted growth. I got shadow banned. And when you're shadow banned, it's just about impossible to do anything with it, to claw your way out. The issue is that if you're honest and you're real about who you are today, you get shadow banned. It's just that simple. That's what happens. We are not in the era of old YouTube where people could just be flat out open and honest about everything. Unless you have a secured audience, which means that you existed before YouTube became a heavy censorship platform. But you know, I find myself in a place where it's like, okay, clearly there's shadow banning that goes on, and clearly there's immense suppression. I have so many videos that should have gotten 10,000 views, 500,000 views. I used to put so much work, effort, and time into my videos. You have no idea. You can go look, of course, at my older videos. In the end, it's just I'm not getting enough viewership to justify any of this, especially as far as I'm concerned. Because it's like, is it really worth doing all this if you barely have much of an audience? It's just really not worth it. And you know, for the longest time I spoke about how I was... It's so funny to me, like I feel like it's moments like these where the faggots on my channel, they leave dislikes. I just feel like anytime I actually talk about real stuff, they always want to leave a dislike or something. I mean, go fuck yourself. Literally go fuck yourself. Find some rope and chew on it. Do it now. Anyways, moving on. So as I said, yeah, I cannot stand the faggots on my channel, and I'm just trying to harass me. But anyways, you know, I think back on all the struggling with my channel. This channel, I was raging about last summer. I was raging about the fact that I was just not building, and I was clearly getting shadow banned, and I was not getting as many views as my videos used to get. You know, the last time I got 2,000 views on a video was how long ago? A very long time ago, and it's just not happening anymore. The shadow banning took place, and it's had a very profound effect for a long enough period of time that now I'm sitting here and it's like, okay, I think it's over. I think it's over. I think that everything I was doing here, I think it was good for a time, and I think I enjoyed it, and I think it was rewarding for what it was. But in the end, I just think it's over. I put my all into this, and anyone that isn't you, they're gonna act like you didn't try. They're gonna act like that you didn't bust your ass. They're gonna act like it. They're gonna act like it. Everyone loves to act like when it's not them doing something, because people have no realism. They have no introspection. They only have narcissism, let's just face it. And they don't have actual empathy. You know, the left, they love to weaponize the term empathy, but I just mean objective empathy. You know, just good old traditional empathy. You're able to have the cognizance, the intellect, the operating IQ level, intelligence quotient, to comprehend where someone else is coming from and understand that yes, what they did took a lot of effort and time, and they dedicated all of themselves to it, and then it really just did not amount up into anything. So anyways, fuck those retards. Just fuck them. Anyone that acts like they know what they're talking about, anyone that sits there and you say something that's true and they're like, well, no, that's not true because I said so. Okay, dude, go fuck yourself. Literally, just find the nearest way to fuck yourself and do it. Moving on. So, where I find myself is in a very strange place, because I think just looking back on my channel, I had really good moments with so many videos. There's so many playthroughs that were just great, and I loved doing the video, and I loved the moments that we were having, and I'm now looking at what my channel is, and it's like, it's over. It is just simply over. There's really no future in this, and it's so sad. It's so upsetting in a lot of ways. It's just so disappointing. But I think that it's just simply over. We're not building, you know, my channel is just going nowhere. And what am I going to do? Am I just going to continue to work on a channel that isn't growing and I don't get more viewership over time? I'm not building an actual audience. It never happened and it never happens. You know, people just come and go when it comes down to my channel. It's just that simple. And I've spoken about the layers of how that works and what's happening with the channel. On that note, you know, they keep on funneling into my channel the wrong audience. I've spoken about this before in great detail. I don't really need to go into it. I don't really want to. Regardless, though, it's not fun that my content gets out to the wrong people all the time. But that, you know, that doesn't look past the fact that there's so many people who have come and gone when it comes down to my channel. There's so many people that they were here for 1 second in time and they're gone ever since. There's just a bunch of people that just never stuck around with the channel. Of course, we crash. Yeah, man, it's just, we had a lot of great conversations in the past, a lot of really great conversations, and I really enjoyed how much of myself I poured into so many videos. But again, my videos, they just don't get views anymore. It's over. And there's just really, there's no upwind to anything I'm doing. By now, I thought I would have at least a dedicated audience of like 100 viewers. And I don't really think I have any dedicated audience. So I don't apologize for one day of myself, who I am, my personality, whatever. I don't apologize for any of this. I don't apologize for being authentic. I don't apologize for being real. I don't apologize at all. Are you fucking kidding me, dude? Jeez. It fucking pulled me this far back. Are you fucking serious? Oh my, fuck you. Oh, whenever the game crashes like that. Oh, who gives a shit? Just fucking end a turn. Who fucking cares? Jeez Louise. Fucking hell. Ah, what a waste of fucking time. I'm not fucking having it. No. No, I just don't care anymore. I just don't care. I don't care. I'm ending the game differently than this. Just fuck it. Fuck it. I'm not bothering. It just takes too long. The bullshit is enough. Fucking over with it. Anyways, I just look back on the past of my channel. Just a lot of good times, a lot of great conversations. I look back on so many videos, and it was just all good. And I have a lot of great memories with all of it. And I thought it was all going to amount up into something, and it never did. So a lot of what I did was a waste of time. And you know, I said it. It's like, if no one's going to support my work, and I broadcasted it far and wide, and nobody answered. And I said many times that I did this to provide a solution to wokeness and storytelling. And you know, I have to say this every time. Fuck you, and go fuck yourself. Every single little fucking dog shit, piece of fucking shit motherfucker that ever came onto my fucking channel. You know, I made this fucking shit. This whole channel was about providing a solution to wokeness and storytelling. And a bunch of people, they tried to fucking clown me on that shit. They didn't take me seriously about it. They acted like I was fucking joking about that fucking shit. And they acted like it was a joke. And it's like, everything fucking sucks today. Fucking look in the mirror, you goddamn dumbass. Fucking look in the mirror, you fucking idiot. Everything's shit. Movies are shit. Books are shit. Video games are shit. I sat here and I was honest about the fact that it's like, I am the goddamn solution, you fucking shit. I'm the fucking solution. I'm here to provide to you the fucking solution. To provide the antidote to wokeness and goddamn storytelling. And you motherfuckers never picked up a fucking thing that I made. Even though my shit is the fucking shit, man. It's good. And you never picked it up. Because you're a bunch of goddamn idiots. Fuck you. Every day that everyone has turned a blind eye to everything I've ever done on this channel, go fuck yourself in the fucking ass. Every time it comes down to it. I've said this in the past and I say it again. Go fuck yourself. Because I put all of myself into this shit. Resources, time, and goddamn money. And you motherfuckers, you never gave me a fucking chance. You acted like all this fucking shit was a fucking joke. Fuck you. I look back on everything I did and just all the time that it took to do everything and all the dedication that it was. And then I look back on how all you little fucking shit stains, you fucking ignored me. In the end, I look back on my channel and I'm proud of what I did, but I'm not proud of the people who were supposedly my audience. And I don't know if they ever were my audience. And I don't know if I ever had an audience, if we're being real. Maybe I never did. And maybe that's the truth. Maybe I never had a chance whatsoever. Maybe I never had viewers to begin with. And a lot of the time, it feels that way. It feels that way that I never have any viewers. And maybe it's just simply me. And I know what I mean when I say that. That maybe it's just me. And maybe there was never a fucking chance for someone like me to ever have a fucking chance at having an audience and building a channel and actually spreading out my fucking books and getting people to pick them up. Maybe there was just never a goddamn chance in the fucking universe. And no one was ever gonna give me a fucking opportunity. And no one was ever gonna take my goddamn shit seriously. Listen, I wasted fucking time doing all this. And I'm fucking mad. I'm angry. Because fuck you, you little goddamn fucking cunts. Go fuck yourself. You fucking faggots. Fuck all of you. Fucking did this shit. I believed in it. I believed in the fucking audience that I had, that they wanted fucking solution. And you goddamn fucking faggots. You all sat there. You don't like fucking woke shit. And woke shit it has no future. Doesn't provide anything to any of us. There's no media today to look upon and say, I relish and I respect that. There's none of it. I'm never going to grow an audience. I'm never going to grow a channel. And quite frankly, just fuck this shit. It's just fucking stupid. I did all this so that I could grow an audience. I'm not growing an audience here. I'm not growing a goddamn audience. That's the fucking truth. I'm not growing a fucking audience here. In the goddamn end, it's a fucking waste of time. And I'm fucking fed up. I'm fucking done. I am. I was supposed to be building an audience that would be reading my books, and slowly I would be working on other projects. And those projects, I would be slowly providing a greater and greater and greater solution to dog shit coming out today. When I say that my shit's good, it's fucking good. I am the next big fucking storyteller that should fucking exist. And nobody wants to give me a goddamn chance because I am fucking me. Fuck you. I never had a chance. I never had a chance. And with that being said, we're going into no commentary. Alright, well, the no commentary section of the video did not really last long, now did it? We are back. We have finally finished this playthrough. Let me tell you, it took a long time. It took a very long time. It took a couple of days. I don't even know what I think about that. I mean, I think it took me a full week to finish this. I'm pretty sure it took too long, and I'm gonna have to think about how do I play this game in a way that doesn't take so long. I do not enjoy how long it takes. I really don't. So I really gotta start doing something that just lessens the timeline. It's just too much, man. I gotta have shorter playthroughs, and I don't know how to do that, you know? Part of me really thinks I might want to start allowing the game to automate my cities and how they grow. And just accept whatever happens, right? It's like, whatever, man. Who cares? It can build whatever it wants, and I'll just do my own thing. In the end, I guess the game really is about conquest more than anything. So, getting as much as you can out of everything is probably the best way to go. And the only thing I can think of, like, you really gotta focus on, for sure, is building chrono gates on your vassals, but that's really it. So, just rush out for a chrono gate, so you can waste 2 turns to max out. Your vassals setup. And really, again, it's just to grab that chrono gate, which doesn't really take that much. Nice. I've been tempted to maybe pick up Stellaris again, but that's not going to happen for a little bit of time. But I might consider it. You know, it's interesting. I'll share this. Sometimes, whenever I get angry on my collective channels, I always wonder to myself, maybe you went too far with it. You know, maybe there's some innocent people out there that you should show some, obviously you're thinking about the best members of your audience when you think this sort of thing. Regardless, I think to myself, well, maybe you were being too harsh. And it's the good ones in the audience, they're suffering the most. That's what I think. And then not too much time goes by, and I learn that everything I rant about is completely justified. Every time. It amazes me. It amazes me. Right here, Diviner. That's a pretty good one. Wow, that's pretty powerful. That's a good buff. Holy crap. It amazes me. Truly. Ooh. Oh. You come into combat with a Vigil. That's not too bad. That's another unit on the field. This one gives you a warg, but I mean that's not that's a tier 2. No. Interesting. So they added a few new options, but nothing too crazy. I wonder if these ascension traits are connected to your tomes. I would bet that's what it's connected to. Unholy champion. Undying. That's very strange, and it is not cooperative with my build, so that does not work. Casting additional spells, that's always the best one to go for, every time. Yeah, literally, my units were just one-shotting. Man, I want to do some flavor stuff, you know, but sorcerer, it's just better. Additional spells is always better. Nice. Yeah, we're getting to the point where I really don't care to name my rulers anymore. It just doesn't matter to me. I've done it too many times. Oh, we got everything? Really? What is this? Oh. I can do bless. Oh, you can give inner grace through a shield. Crazy. It truly amazes me every time I get mad, and I always end up being justified. It's just deep down inside, I wish
Your journey
that I wasn't.
starts here.
I just wish, but no, instead I get disappointed on the daily, so it's unfortunate. It happens though.
Your journey starts here.
Offended and gay. What's this? I was going to go the healer dragon with this one. I don't know if this build would look different now that they've changed the classes up a little bit. What about this guy? He was warrior. What the heck was this build for? What was I gonna do with this guy? I have no idea. I guess just for fun. I have no idea what it's for. I'm trying to think of what it was that I would have it set up. What was it? Weird. I don't remember. But we are going to be doing more of the DLC playthroughs. Interesting. Interesting.
What is your people's form? Your journey starts here.
gonna be an interesting couple of matches coming up. I think I enjoyed this giant. It was pretty good. This giant build and all that. We're gonna be doing a lot more of the dragons in the future, but I've learned a couple of things about the best way to build your heroes. I'm gonna have to really think about it, like, how do you really maximize it? It's kind of tough. Honestly, it's really tough. But I think there's good ways that I've figured out of how to do it. So we're gonna be pursuing that. But regardless, I guess it was a good playthrough. I plan on the next one being shorter. And dang, dude, there's always those douche nozzles. They always justify everything you say. It amazes me. Truly does. So, anyway, I guess we're good, though, everything considered. So, with that being said, we will be back for the next playthrough, and I have many things in store for the next couple of civilizations that we will be trying out.